Damn, someone said, how often do I go to the barber shop? Yeah, I guess once a week. So, good morning, good morning. Happy Lotto Friday, guys. GM. All right, guys, good morning. I want to quickly kind of update things. QQQ moving to the upside here, guys, in pre-market. Quickly on the overnight, I did overnight some puts on SQ and Affirm. I'm probably going to close those out off open, guys. Market is looking relatively strong here. I'll take a small loss on the puts. As far as the rest of today goes, let's talk about kind of my focus setups for today. First off, welcome to Lotto Friday. If you're new, welcome to the stream, guys. This is the pre-market live. This is where I go over my top focus setups for the day ahead. And also kind of where I'm going to talk about what my plan is going to be going into the end of this week, etc. Quickly, I do want to mention, guys, it is Lotto Friday. If I trade any weekly options contract positions, those are going to be 1% account size. So if I have a $100,000 account, I'll be taking positions with $1,000, and I'll keep a relatively tight stop, usually 30 to 40%. 30%, excuse me, on the Lotto Friday names. And then, like I said, if they work, fantastic. Usually they end up being profitable because they are still A+ setups, but it's always the day of expiration, and that is always more risky, and a trade can go against you very, very quickly. So again, guys, if you're new, be smart. It's Lotto Friday. Just like I said, that's my plan and my strategy. You have to come up with your own. But Rivian. I'm holding Rivian. I have some in the main too. It actually looks pretty good, honestly. It looks pretty strong right now. So we will see. The theme has been rip after ER, right? So could be a nice IV flush opportunity. We'll see. I thought their earnings were solid. It seems like now when growth companies report, as long as they don't declare bankruptcy, they're in a good spot. But all right, guys, let's talk about it. So names that I am focused on coming into today. First off, let's talk about the Qs, right? Qs are going to come into a bigger resistance area at this 327 level. We just gapped up above 326.30. As we come into the 327 level, guys, remember that is where we had a bigger rejection, right, up here at this 326, 327 zone earlier this week. And again, yesterday, there was definitely some resistance at that spot before we eventually broke to the upside, right? Now, what we need to be cautious for here is, do we reject here at 327 and then form like a head and shoulders, or, right, do we rip to the upside through 327? That would open us back up to 330. So really need to watch this, guys. If we get above 327 on the Qs, really good chance I think we see 330 again today. That's a huge resistance, which we already talked about on the daily on QQQ, right? Let's clear levels here just for point of reference, right? 1, 2, 3 rejections, late April, early May, and here, right? And that's why I kind of got a little bit more short bias. I traded some puts for the first time yesterday because of the fact that we hit that 330 resistance. If we can get above 330, that is kind of that line in the sand, guys. If we get above 330, we will see 337, 347 relatively quickly, in my opinion, guys. So definitely a big time watch for me above those levels, right? Now, coming into today, some names that I'm going to be focused on. So AMC, very, very bullish daily candle and weekly or daily candle, at least the last 2 days. Look at that. That volume has held up very strong. Had that massive wick down. That was a huge trap, and I don't know how I missed that, but I'm a little mad at myself. Book texted me about this one last night, and I looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks fantastic, right? Because that's what you want to see, guys, right? So AMC gaps up, goes crazy, and then look what it does. It pulls back, and this wick forms, right? That's a really bullish hammer, right? Because it's basically price action comes all the way down, but at the end of the day, we ripped to the upside, right? So that's a very, very bullish wick. Down to the key level at 2064, and they pushed it all the way back up, right? And now we have yesterday's daily candle, clear relative strength name. So AMC really looks like it wants to test this 2749 level. We're almost there in pre-market. We're at 2660. So one of my top watches off the open, guys, rather than playing AMC because the premiums are so juiced here, BBBY, so Bed Bath & Beyond, guys, definitely one of my top focus setups off the open. This one is coming off of that hourly support at 1076, guys. If we can get above this resistance here between 1137 and 1145, I really like the 12C, just because if you look, right, there's a big move above, and it really seemed that once we got that price action, right, we clearly had demand here at this 1076 zone, and then if we can get through that bigger resistance area at the 1137 to 1145 area, I think we should see probably a move back to 13. So one of my top focus setups today is going to be BBVY, especially off open, guys. This is probably my favorite name. I think the hype has kind of died a little bit, which is, I think, healthy. And now maybe we get even a bigger move, right? So definitely a top focus setup for me here, guys, on BBVY. We are up 4% pre-market. Any type of dip towards 11, I'm definitely interested. I'll still take the position if we clear resistance, but I do really like this setup headed into today. I would love to see a test of 1076, right? So that's what I'm going to be looking for at open, guys, just to kind of clarify, right? Test into this 1080 to 1076 zone. If we gap up, fine, I'll still take the position, but I would like to get a little move down to 1080, 1090, and then gap to the upside, right? So that's what I'm going to be watching off the open. That'll be one of those first couple minutes type of flush move if we get it. I'm definitely going to be looking at the 12 calls for this week. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. Other names that I do want to focus on today. Coin back on the focus list for me. Big flush yesterday. It seemed like it was just a little tired, honestly. That's kind of what the tape felt like to me. Who knows? It was weak yesterday, but oftentimes there's usually a fantastic opportunity when you get that kind of weak tape and then it flips the next day, right? Like yesterday we saw some sell pressure. You never know where that really comes from. But if you remember about a month ago, we saw one of those really weak days, and then the very next day, which was actually a Monday, we ripped like 20 bucks. So I actually really like the $90 calls if we clear 86.55. Premiums are completely reset here for the week at least, and really like they're not bad for next week now, but the premiums are dirt cheap now for this week. So I really actually do like the 90C. I want to double check what that closed at actually. The 90s closed at 72, so if we can get a move, through 86.55, I do like the 90 calls or even the 91C, but I'd probably go with the 90s here. So I do like that, especially guys, like I said, over 86.55. We saw a lot of buying pressure down here at the 82, 83 mark, which is not a surprise. So I really like the coin setup going into the week ahead, especially maybe we see that BTC move this weekend, right? But I do like it. Mara is another one that I want to keep an eye on, right? This one has just held its strength, which is really, really impressive, guys. If this closes over on the weekly, right, that's what we need to look at. If this closes over on the weekly like this, I mean, looks really good, right? Especially, it looks like it wants to retake that 1970 level and really go. So I'm definitely going to be watching Mara into the weekend too, guys. That's definitely a humongous watch for me into next week. So I really, really like that setup, guys, especially if we, over the weekend, get a little Bitcoin gap. I do like the potential move to the upside there. As far as other names that I do want to focus on, guys, it's not too deep today. Carvana is another one. I talked about this a lot, but there's a lot of really important weekly candles that are going to close today. Carvana obviously gapping a little bit here in the pre-market. If this one gaps to the upside, I really like it for a move to that 98.30 level. Like I said, guys, if we can get through this 50 level and close on the weekly chart over 50, I think that would be a huge deal, just because you can look at what the past price action has done, right? And it's not super hard to see, but really, guys, if it can get through and close the weekly candle, so this would be a position I'd be looking at towards the end of the day, the last hour. If we're going to close over that 51, 50 to 77 zone, I would look to take calls long on Carvana into next week, more than likely. I'd probably look at September calls. We rejected at 58 yesterday. Even better would be a close over 58, honestly, but that'd be a pretty big move. So again, I think that this can really go. If it can get through 58, I think next target's really that 79 level, because that's just such a big candle, right, guys? And remember, this is another instance of past price action is the best kind of indicator for future moves, right? So I really like that setup there, guys, especially if we can get through that 58 zone. So definitely a focus for me. So again, guys, that's pretty much going to be my focus list for today. It doesn't need to be extensive. One other name I will mention, Affirm, AFRM. I'm not upset with myself for taking puts overnight here, but I really thought it would see more weakness off SQ and some of the other fintech names, but it was definitely strong into the close, and I kind of second guessed it a little bit. I thought we might get a gap down in pre-market today, but the more I looked at it, especially into today, guys, I really think this actually might be ready for a bigger upside move. It was extremely strong yesterday, and it looks like it wants to get into this 40, 50, 40, 70 level, guys. So definitely something I'll be watching versus dips. Big support, guys, on Affirm at that 36.30 level. We saw these 3 wicks. That was probably my signal, but, notable wicks, right? We talk about that all the time. Notable wicks, notable wicks, notable wicks. They are important, and they really do tell a story. We talk about candle structure all the time, but ARK will need to see continuation today for any of this to validate, right? A lot of flow on ARK puts yesterday, guys, and ARK is going to need to get above this level here at the 50-78 zone. We definitely need to see a move above in order for ARK to get a more extensive upside press, right? If we get back over 50-80 and hold here, which we are currently, right, probably a good shot we see that 51.5 level and then back up towards 53 plus, right? That'd be a pretty big breakout. So we need to watch today. This is a very important weekly candle for ARK. We've been talking about this one for a while, guys, but look at the monthly, right? I mean, we printed that green monthly candle, and now look, right? We've got a lot of room up, especially if we clear this. If we hold over this 50 level on the weekly, this is a crazy chart, especially if we close over on the monthly. This could be a really crazy setup, guys. And I mean that. Like, this is just, it looks ready to go. I mean, it looks like it's going to 57, and then probably it sees some type of bigger move back up. I mean, you got to think about it that way. That's what the chart tells you, right? So, and that's what I like to put my confidence in. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get ready for Lotto Friday. I'm going to go ahead and hop on the pre-market live stream. Again, top focus setups off the open, BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond, Y, hourly setup, right at support. I like the $12 calls, especially with AMC and a lot of the other meme names looking very strong. Again, I think, over this 1145 zone, we should see a move towards that 1369/1250 area. So I do like the 12 calls over that level. It is up 4% in pre-market, so I like it a little bit less, but definitely something I'd like to take with some smaller size. A couple other setups that I do also like a lot is going to be coin. If we get over 86, 86.55, guys, if we can see a strong push through this level right here, I like the $90 calls for a move back to 93. Definitely, I like this one too because it flushed 11% yesterday, so risk reward is like A+ for me, right? And then Mara is the other one I talked about. This is probably more of a bigger picture trade, but I do like that setup here. And again, guys, I do like Carvana too, but pretty much main focus for me off open will be coin, Carvana, and like I said, I'll definitely be focused on BBY, AMC, some of those names. I do want to see the Qs, again, get over that 327 zone, and ARK needs to get back over 52. So I'm going to go ahead and hop on the Discord voice for live trading today. I'll be doing some live video trading for Lotto Friday as well, and I will see you guys on the voice and in the disc. See you guys later. Peace out. Have a fantastic Friday. Have a great weekend if you're not trading today or if you're taking the day off. Peace. Enjoy.